Was that your cooking?
Yeah, cook.
Okay. Hi, Harry.
Hiya.
That was a bit exuberant.
Well, no, I'm enjoying the little tune there. I'll go like
I do like the music. I always have a little dance and then remember that I think there is a way of retrieving.
We've got about 10 seconds until it goes live and we're recording, and well, not live but recording. So I'm sat there going like that, and then boom.
How's your week been? How's your weekends?
My weekend was class.
Didn't drop any points. No, you did drop points. Didn't lose anything.
No, didn't lose anything. Maybe a few brain cells from drinking, but that's about it. Just standard procedures.
Was it your first home game?
Yes. It took a turn.
Was everything the same? You know, when you walk back into your home
ground.
are
different. The pies are different. We've got a new marquee that you can go out to at half time. Yeah, it's great.
Was it Mansfield that people were talking about? Yes, it was you saying that you have to have your ticket to go to get back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is it. It's yeah, but honestly, I'm done with that situation. It's pathetic. It's tame, weak, and pathetic. And Mansfield, sort your shit out on that part. Off the field, we are such a joke, but we'll get onto that later.
All right. Well, we could start there.
No, we'll leave it till last because it were game of the day, in my opinion.
Was it in your opinion?
In fact, I think it's a fact.
Well, do you know what?
6 goals.
Actually, hang on. Let me find this week's Football League paper. I look it was so exciting on Monday. Like, Mom, your paper's here. I was like, oh, it's so exciting. Right. Do you know what? I think it was actually one of the higher rated, if not the highest rated. So Stockport, Blackpool, or Blackpool Stockport was 4 stars. Huddersfield Stevenage was 3 stars. You think that Stevenage was supposedly only sold 10? I might have fallen for social media.
You fell for the trap.
Did I?
Fell for the trap. I will believe
it. Rotherham Bristol was 2 stars. Speaking of, have you seen that your favourite Rotherham manager has been fined and given a touchline ban for his...
Yes, he got a touchline ban.
Yeah.
For our game, the Bristol Street Motors Cup that were on Tuesday.
No, it was the Exeter one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he got the ban.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like he's actually served it.
Yeah, it's a joke. Absolutely.
No, not shit.
And then he came out and said it's the best point that they'll ever get. Bristol Rovers.
Well, Cambridge Crawley was 3 stars. Lincoln Barnsley was 3 stars. I'll come back to Mansfield. Reading Wigan was 3 stars. Shrewsbury Posh was 4 stars, so another 4-star one.
Yeah, that's deserved.
Charlton Orient was 2 stars. Birmingham Wickham was 4 stars.
Yeah, agreed.
Northampton Exeter was 3 stars, and Bolton Wanderers hadn't happened at the time of publication, but we'll call that 1 star because it ruined my Sunday. But yes, you are in fact right. Mansfield Burton was the Football League paper's 5-star game. I don't know how often they hand out these 5-star game reviews.
I don't know either, but it was so good. It was such a good game. Great game for the neutral. But yeah, we'll get on to that.
All right.
Wait, should we go on? Should we do it in Football League papers stars? So 1 to 5. So
yeah.
We'll give our 1 star to bloody Bolton and Wrexham for whatever.
Right. Okay. So it was so bad. It was a goal of straw. It was so bad that I actually actively sought out interesting things to say about it. Arthur Okonkwo was the man of the match.
Very good. Yeah, let's go with him. Let's do something positive. He was very, very good.
He was very, very good. He made a couple of really, really good saves in the first half. And then he was interviewed by the BBC afterwards and has basically said that they're going for third straight promotion, which feels a little bold.
Considering there was literally, I wouldn't say shat on because they didn't get beat, but they literally had to save on that point.
I mean, there is a plus. I mean, I know that you're much more confident about Bolton this season than I am, but they are one of the teams to beat. They were in the playoff final, obviously had a decent season last year. You know what I mean?
Season, same thing.
Yeah. So, I get it. Paul Mullin is back in training, so we can expect Paul Mullin
to get less than 15 goals this season.
Gracing our
I'm going to make this prediction now. He'll get less than 15 goals this season in the league. Because my thing on it is he's a really good League Two national and a National League. Well, sorry, I wouldn't even call him a National League striker because he's way above that level. But League Two, he's top class. But every time he's gone into League One, he hasn't done his job at scoring goals. So for me, I think he's been in League One. Please say he has. I'm sure he has, but I'm going to have to double check it now just to.
I feel like he has. He didn't play for Fleetwood, did he?
I apologise to Paul Mullin. But either way, if he hasn't played in League One, then he hasn't got that experience at the age of 30. Where are we? Transfer market.
Marked.
I hope we get sponsored by them one day. Very good at. So I am fairly certain he has, but we'll go with this. All seasons. Yes, he has. Yeah, right. I am fine. He's had one season and he scored 3 goals in 20.
Who did he play for?
Tranmere, which, in all fairness, that did get stopped halfway through because, was it 1920? Yeah, COVID. That was COVID year. So it got stopped halfway through. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 3 goals in 20 is not a good return. And if he's only been there once in his career,
So Parky was quite pleased. He said they started strong and showed that they can compete, which is fair, especially given the kind of comparisons with Bolton. Because I took the same, we talked about this on Sunday night, I took the same away from it in that, we were both in a league with Wrexham last season and were competitive. So if they can hold their own against, tipped to be one of the biggest teams, then it bodes well for all of us. And they've also, so they had an confrontation with Sheffield United. They've been charged as well for one of the, when we had it against Wimbledon a couple of seasons ago when they basically says the club can't control the players. I love it. It's like,
to be fair, did you see that when they played Sheffield United?
It was right at the end of the game, wasn't it?
By Lewis Brunt. It was a great finish by Lewis Brunt for Sheffield United. No hard feelings at all. But no, I've seen he's not in the squad for them 2 games, and it does make me think like this guy should be playing regular League One football. Like he might have had a bad game there, but I don't know why they're not playing him. I mean, they've proved why they're not playing him because they're getting a clean sheet against Bolton, but I don't know why he's not in this squad.
And it was both Bolton and Wrexham's first clean sheet of the season. So, yeah.
Impressive. And
that's about all I can say about
fair play. And I thought George Dobson had a good game, and that's expected. He's a quality little midfielder. So, yeah, but that's all I could take away from that game. I mean, Bolton should have took their chances, and that were never a penalty that Ian Evans were banging on about, where they were all over each other, and he's just grabbed Santos's shirt harder than what Santos grabbed the other person's shirt with. It's never a penalty. We'll get on to penalties later, I imagine. But
so Bolton are away to Charlton on Saturday. Yeah. Charlton we'll get to. Have had a decent start.
And next probably that fits.
Well, I don't know. Let me consult my. That was a 2-star game. We can in fact go there. A beautiful segue.
Yes, it worked.
See, I don't remember anything ever. And Wrexham are at home to Reading. So I'd imagine
I actually think that as a contender, I'm going to make a prediction. Wrexham versus Reading will be contender for game of the day next week.
Yeah.
And I'm in fact, I think it will be, because it's just, I don't know. Reading seems to be on form. I don't know how to say his name, but him up top, they're number 9.
Oh, right.
He's incredible.
I like, because
should we just? We could be here all day.
Well, we could call him. We could continue to call him Kelvin, but it feels really disrespectful. So I think it's Ahib Atomian.
Yeah, he is different class.
He is, right, but so he got a goal and an assist, and then a goal last weekend. So 3 kind of direct involvements in goals across 2 league games, which in his previous 36 appearances for the Royals, same 3 goal involvements in 36 appearances, 3 goal involvements in 2 appearances in 24-25.
He's great though. He's just great.
So I don't know, but is it enough? Is he just had a really good start? Has something clicked? Because there's a few of these players. Bowden
with him
is another one.
Yeah, we won't talk about him yet. Still in the brain.
I'm not for like shoving them into my fantasy EFL team left, right, and centre, because the stats don't lie.
I'm not giving tips on that at the minute. It's been a horror show.
I've got Alfie May, and Lewis State. Stockport County's Lewis State.
Well, at least you haven't got Lewis Brunt anymore.
No, that's true. He got sacked after last week. Charlton or Charlton?
Charlton.
Charlton are in like National League North.
Who?
Charlton. No, I'm Charlton, surely. Sorry. Just
they're North as well.
I'll cut that bit out. Charlton beats Leyton Orient.
Charlton, no.
Yeah.
No pois. Leyton Orient, which we had Marshall come on, didn't we?
Yes. Context. On Sunday night, we did our first 606. I've got an idea about the 606. I'll tell you later. But Marshall Taylor is one of the owners at Leyton Orient, and he came and talked to us about their starts of the season, which was, I always loved hearing from him, because he gives a completely different perspective than the fans in terms of,
it's quite refreshing.
We talk about their expectations. Yeah.
It's quite refreshing. And it's how he came across it. Like, look, we've lost 2 games, but it could be, it's a hard start, And he said we had the same run last season. So if anything, he's right. Or if there is, I don't think there will be many Leyton Orient fans worrying. If there is worrying Leyton Orient fans, I'd listen to the 606 first.
Yeah.
I think he'll give you a lot of reassurance.
Yeah.
But I think they're okay. They've got close to drawing with both playoff chasing teams.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah. They, and obviously they lost to Bolton first week, and Marshall said that they were ready for it. They knew that they had a tough start to the season, and I'd make the point as well that I'd rather have a tough start to the season and get your Birminghams, your Boltons out of the way before they start playing properly, if you like.
Yeah, it's nice for you to say, considering Mansfield's got all 3 relegated teams in last month, and then Reading and someone else. But yeah, it's great.
I've not looked at ours, but I do remember someone saying that apart from Barnsley, who we've got in a couple of weekends, that we had an easy start to the season.
Yeah, I think you have. Yeah, it sounds about right. Besides Mansfield, that'll be an odd game for you, I imagine.
Well, yeah, people keep going on about, our starts of the season. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but we've got Mansfield away and Crawley away, and we'll lose both of them. So,
I'll just take a point now. But yeah, I don't want to watch Louis Barry play. So if he just wants to have an off day,
I could watch Louis Barry play all day.
Yeah, Charlton 1-0.
Charlton, yes.
Again.
92 minutes. Yeah, another 1-0. Late goal from Berry, who's come from Luton.
Can I just say something about their chant? They've created the Phil Foden's chant. So it's Luke Berry's on fire. But guess who they mention? Millwall. You haven't beat them since the 1990s. So how is he playing weird, Millwall in the park? He's not even playing Millwall this season.
We have similar. It's always Burnley. Bizarrely, I mean, we're not going to play Burnley anytime soon. Michael Mellon got absolute pelters when he was introduced in Pinatar. It's like our fan base are just an embarrassment sometimes. But yeah, and at the moment it's always Wrexham, which I know we do actually play with, but there's absolutely no need to shoehorn Wrexham into every.
Fuck that! Why not? Fuck you, Wrexham. They went to win the league. I don't
because then you get
no, don't fuck Wrexham. I'm trying to make amends with them after the poor pre-season relationship we had, but it's hard not to, considering they give it the big and online. I mean, yeah, some of them do. To the ones who aren't, I hope you have a lovely season, and I hope you get everything perfect this season, what you want. But everyone else, I don't even know. But anyway, Charlton.
Back to Charlton. So Charlton have only lost one of their last 17 league games. So it's not even that they've had a good start to the season. It's one that's continued from last season. And they've won they're unbeaten in their last 8 home games. So definitely a pattern starting to form there.
Yeah, and I've got them on my birthday weekend. So
really?
If they don't lose at home, and I've got them away on my birthday weekend. What chance have I got of having a good birthday? I may as well say goodbye to my 20th birthday because I don't care.
So they've got Bolton on Saturday, which I think will be really interesting. But given their record at the moment, and
that's my contender for least good game of the day.
Do you think? Do you reckon it'll just be a really painful
It's just a Nathan Jones 1-0 shit ass, I reckon. It's going to be a 1-0 game or a 0-0 game. And if it's the game of the day, I apologise to both sets of fans, but
we've got Charlton the day before the cruise. So we're going from Southampton and going to Charlton on the way to Southampton.
Not
Chorley.
Not Chorley.
Or Charlton. I don't know whether it's strictly on the way, but that's what's happening. But anyone else going to Charlton this season, do bear in mind that the ground is inside the ULEZ area.
Should we do an extra podcast next week? I've just been thinking about this as you mentioned kiosk. It came to my head. We should try and get a photo, get fans from every League One club to send a photo of their food from their kiosk every day and rank them. We'll get a little rank tier of food poisoning at bottom to top tier restaurant, like where
we
should do that.
Okay, I'm doing corporate on Saturday, so that'll be Stockport County taking the prize
from the kiosk.
But you just said
no, corporate doesn't count. So it has to be from a kiosk or from outside the ground, so like a burger van outside the ground. It can't be from like a restaurant that's 0.3 miles away.
I would also argue that it needs to be something that is available to away fans as well, but home fans don't always know what's available to away fans.
I'm
constantly disappointed by.
Because I've seen Bolton's got I've heard about it now, and I've seen it because for some reason I watched Thogden's video. They do a pastry van.
Yeah,
that is sick.
I know.
You go into the away end and you get a shit pie that tastes. It can't be said on here what it tastes like. That's how bad it tastes like.
What else was there? Otherwise I think it was quite a balanced game. And since then, Orient have signed a forward from Spurs on loan, Donnelly.
Jamie Donnelly.
Yeah, and he can play midfield and across the front three. So
I don't like to be this Football Manager sort of person who says, yeah, they'll be good. But he got 50 goals in League One in my Football Manager. So Leyton Orient fans, he's going to get 49.
I mean, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. I think Spurs fans were saying on Leyton Orient's post that he was good and he's a good youth prospect. But we've seen that before and it's failed. But if he's in Tottenham Academy, he can't be useless.
No.
He's got to be good. Like,
yeah.
You can't get into Tottenham Academy and be crap.
Right. So where are we going next for a three-starer? Let's.
Oh no, it's only 2-starers. Any more 2s?
Oh, I don't know. Were there any more 2s?
Oh, yes. Should we get on to Rotherham Bristol? I think that's 2.
Was Rotherham Bristol 2?
It has to be. It's 0-0.
Yeah, it was a 2.
Rotherham Strike Force have not scored in 2 games, and I back them all the way to have scored a lot of goals. Sam Nombi and Johnson Clark Harris up top, and you haven't scored in 2 games. What is happening?
It's a funny one as well because they definitely had the better of the chances. I love this because it was also Matt Taylor's first trip back to Rotherham since he was sacked. Yeah. So you've got there's a bit of beef still, and it was really funny. Like in his post-game things, you had Rotherham clearly having the better of the chances, and Matt Taylor's take on it was, "Yeah, we didn't deserve the 3 points." It's just great to draw.
So you've gone from one manager who's just honest. Yeah, we didn't deserve 3 points. Yeah, that's the best points they'll get all season. There's nothing more Steve Evans than that. Oh, I really do dislike the bloke. I just can't get over it. But we'll get on to Rotherham and actually speak about the team because I feel like I'm mutter on about Steve Evans and I don't want to do it every week. But just after that, I think I'm going to have to because if he keeps making comments like that, he's going to wind me up.
No, that was Matt Taylor who said that they didn't.
I know they didn't deserve 3 points, but his comments after the game saying Bristol Rovers, that was Bristol Rovers' best point ever in their history.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I did see the quote that he was disappointed not to be 3 or 4 up. I mean, you weren't even 1 up.
You can say that, but at the end of the day, you didn't score.
No,
and again, you don't win games. Unless you've got Lewis Brunt playing for the opposite team and he might score an own goal.
Or you've got the Louis Barry hack.
Yeah, we don't talk about him yet. But it was good. It's good for Bristol Rovers. I really like this summer recruitment. I think it's gone under the radar because they haven't gone for such a big name or a loan thing that just goes, a loan signing that just makes you go, oh, wow. But
and they've not conceded a goal yet.
Not conceded. They've got 4 points, unbeaten start. That's incredible. But Rotherham, I expected it to be a slow start, but I expected them to score goals because they have got a lot of players in, time to gel. They'll be fine. People are already saying, why have people predicted Rotherham to get in playoffs and they're playing like this? Don't look at this. The first 5-10 games doesn't matter. I mean, we've seen it with, what do you call it before? Bristol Rovers when they were in League 2. They had a honking first half of the season and got promoted.
This time last season, so people have been talking about MK Dons in League 2. This time last season, that's where Stockport County were and went on to win the league. So it, and Marshall said, didn't he? That was what poked Marshall to come on Sunday. You saying about them being bottom of the league. It is too soon to tell. And Rotherham are another club that, and Steve Evans made this point that there were lots of new names on the team sheet. They did recruit heavily in the summer and they will take a little time to bed in the same way that Birmingham, I know there's this whole, what do they call themselves? In for a shock FC. They're not walking it. They might have won a game now, but...
People are irritated by Birmingham, but I love their fans. I just love how cocky they are with it. I think it's funny. I love this shit arsery.
Yeah.
The thing is, the difference between them and Wrexham, there is a difference between them and Wrexham.
Yeah.
Wrexham have just got promoted to this league after being in the League 2 and National League for a while. Well, National League for a while, League 2. right? They don't really have a right to go, yeah, we'll piss the league when because they don't.
No.
Whereas Birmingham have had this shit back, pretty much saying, well, wait till we go to Burton on a Tuesday night and you lose 1-0 and all of this and play on these horrible pitches. Yeah, so what? And I love how they're reacting to it. In for a shock FC. Yeah, go on. You spent 20 million. I think it's funny. I think it's class.
I think as well with Birmingham is they know what they are in terms of like that arrogance. And like you, I find it amusing because they know exactly what they're doing. They don't believe it so much. And that's the difference.
Yeah. And that's that they're saying it out of jest. And I think to be honest, if we're being brutally honest, I can't see a world where they don't end up top 2 or top 3 and just miss out on autos. Let's just be real. Right?
Yeah.
So they have a right to be saying all of this. Oh, we might get record points. I don't think they will, but they might get record points, etc. They've got every chance. They've spent the money. They've done good business. So you never know.
Yeah, and they've got Orient on Saturday. And who else? So what else have we got? Rotherham have got Rotherham not playing. Oh, Rotherham away to Wycombe Wanderers, and Bristol have got Stockport County away for the 12:30 kickoff, which is horrific if you're a Bristol Rovers fan.
Stockport Bristol 12:30.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes it is. Oh.
Shit, isn't it? Like there is no. I don't think it's possible to get trains. I don't know how many they've sold. I don't expect that it's many. I just think it's horrible scheduling. Anyway, right. So who else? Do we have any other 2 stars?
I don't think we do. I think it's all 3s.
Let's move on to the 3s then. So first up, Huddersfield and Stevenage.
Have you seen the Elliot List Smith? Have you seen the list?
Elliot List Smith.
That's so hard to say, isn't it?
I know.
But it was so poor.
I know. It's one of those where you're not quite. I mean, I don't play football. I did when I was little, but you kind of look at it and like,
Yeah, I was seeing saw a video by Callum Farlow's Barnsley fan on YouTube. He's a bit biased to Barnsley at times, but he said something, and you could tell it was a typical Michael Duff performance when you went 2-0 up at half time, then he just goes and 6 back. Because what I've heard from Huddersfield fans is that Huddersfield were all out attack in that first half and should have got more goals. And then the second half, they just sat back slightly, and
And Stevenage switched formations, and it was enough to kind of, I guess, stop a little bit, but it didn't change enough.
No. But good. I think Stevenage should take that. I know it's a loss, but it's a good performance. And 1 goal in between a team who's just got relegated and spent some money.
But it was a penalty. Do penalties really count? In my head, penalties don't count.
Yes, they do, because we drew with a penalty.
No, I know. And it was a similar penalty, actually, in terms of holding in the box. And we talked about this on Sunday again, about how referees have been told to crack down on playing the player in the box rather than playing the ball. And that was, so substitute came on and scored in the 95th minute. Lasse Sorensen's had a good start at Huddersfield. Obviously, the Lincoln fans were devastated to see him go, but 2 assists on Saturday. And Ben Wiles has scored both. So he's another one, like Kelvin, like Bowden, scored in both games, Barry.
He doesn't normally score goals, apparently, Ben Wiles. I swear I've seen that before.
Well, he doesn't. Like, in his previous 67 English League appearances, he's only scored 2 goals. And then he scored 2. Like, it's weird. There's like 4 of them that have scored in both games, but Louis Barry's an exception.
Bowden, you can count as a goal scorer normally. But
yeah,
no, Huddersfield expected to win that game. Wouldn't take it too personally if I were a Stevenage fan.
I think they're the only team who has won all 3 games that they have played this season, so including the Carabao Cup.
I think you're right. I think you are right, yes.
And, as expected, I guess, you look at the teams that have come down, and Huddersfield might not be as flashy, but they've done sensible recruitment.
Yeah, I'm trying to look now. Who have they got on Saturday?
They have got Shrewsbury. They're at home to Shrewsbury.
Yeah. We'll get on to Shrewsbury later. Bless them. But yeah, it's I think Stevenage will take that. They've got off with the win against Shrewsbury before, which were quite funny. Seeing as Huddersfield have got Shrewsbury next week. But yeah, good result.
Okay. Our next 3-star was Cambridge United 0, Crawley Town 1. This would be Crawley Town, who were predicted by those not so much in the know and familiar with the ways of Crawley Town that they would finish rock bottom of the league. And, let's be honest, they still might. We're 2 games in, but I love it for them. And I know that they're in the same block as we are. So they've played Cambridge and Blackpool. We've played Cambridge and Blackpool. And obviously Blackpool, as we'll get on to, have not had the best starts of the season. Neither have Cambridge. Both have lost to League Two promoted teams. But I love that it just gives them a bit of confidence, and the fans and so many people wanted to write Crawley off, and just to come out the way they have is testament to Scott Lindsay. And you wonder how long, and I've been saying this since, I guess, the January that he came in, when he started to turn things around for Crawley, because for those of you new to Crawley, they were pretty much nailed on for relegation from League Two in 22-23. And then Scott Lindsay came in the January, too late in the transfer window to make too much of a difference, and turned their performances and their kind of fate around completely. And then last season, again, tipped for nailed on relegation and were top half. I mean, they finished in their lowest league position of the season pretty much, didn't they? They'd always been up there, and then obviously were promoted in through the playoffs,
which was great.
And then hemorrhaged their team. Their team here is in Burton, it's in Stockport, it's who else have they got? That's
MK Dons. 2 of them.
MK Dons have had
Notts
a couple.
County.
Yeah, they literally sold.
Fucking Swindon somehow.
Yes.
Right, went to fucking Swindon.
Sold their assets, and they've started again with a similar recruitment strategy. And then, in fairness, have added some bigger names more recently.
Yeah, I mean, they've started off well. It's a great start, and I think this 6 points from 6 is fantastic. I just think, will they keep it up? Because they have come against a Blackpool side under Critchley that were poor, and a team that has been tipped to go down. You take it.
Well, right. And also, if you look behind the scoreline, it was an 86th minute goal. And Crawley only really shone and looked like scoring for about the last 30 minutes. And I think Adeyemo, who scored the goal, had a kind of pretty horrific miss as well.
I got told he missed a chance and a half.
Yeah.
But then he goes and puts that away, which was a good finish.
But came on as a substitute. And, Cambridge, I've not spoken to any Cambridge fans since the game, but they were better. They seemed to be better in the first half from watching the highlights, reading all the match reports. But again, Crawley made 3 changes for the last half an hour, and it looks like it's that made the difference.
Scott Lindsay masterclass. He's pan the best manager in the league, and that's fact. People try to tell me Ruben Sayers. Don't get me wrong, great manager, probably second in that list, but Scott Lindsay.
So on the highlights, the EFL highlights show last week, and they were talking about Scott Lindsay being favourite for the Preston North End job. But then I've not heard anything mentioned since. And I'm sure I've seen someone else
Paul
in the running
for it.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
So I think Scott Lindsay is a little bit like Charlie in that he gets linked with everything because it's kind of a sensible deduction.
I think he will end up going to a championship club. Maybe not this season, or he might do later on in the season, but definitely next season he'll be there because he's that standard.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a good result for Crawley, and I do think they'll look to build on it. I don't know who they've got on Saturday.
Crawley have got Wigan away, and Cambridge are at Blackpool. No, they're not. Blackpool are at Cambridge.
God bless.
So
that could be a right free for a win game as Skulls. That could be just conceding them. They like it.
What, like, when you look at a scoreline, it's 4-4, and it's gone like 1-0.
It'll just be Mansfield v Burton 0.2, won't it?
Oh dear. Right, so that's Cambridge Crawley. We're on another 3-pointer with Lincoln and Barnsley. Which Lincoln 1, Barnsley 2.
In which Lincoln probably should feel like they should have came away with something there.
Yeah, Skibala said they played really well.
They did. They played really well, and I've seen a penalty shout that got put on Twitter for Lincoln that were the most blatant penalty I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely nailed him.
Have you seen the punch as well? Like Skibala said, in his post-match, he said, like, I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this, but I can't not.
Yeah.
Like, the player was punched.
And then obviously Darryl Clark, fair play to him, comes out and says, weren't even a good performance. And, I love it when a manager does that when they've won.
Yeah.
But they acknowledge, and the fans say it's a bad performance, but the manager comes out and says, yeah, it's a great 3 points on road, etc. Darryl Clark, not a good performance. I love that.
And also kind of admitting that they scored from a set piece that they practiced over and over again, and then they were just really sloppy.
Yeah. And which there was. I mean, that could have easily been a penalty, and we could be talking about a 2-2 draw, and,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for Lincoln, but I do feel like they're still struggling up top without Joe Taylor. And
well, Sophie, who came on, well, she didn't come on the 606, but she was sending comments in. She was saying that Lincoln desperately need a striker.
I think they do, and I said this before the season, but I got shut down about it. But I think they do. There's no explanation. You need a striker. You need a front man.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched United play. I mean, it's not a comparison, but I watched them play Friday without a striker, and I was just like, you need a striker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't, like, with the right players in midfield, you can. But if there's a target man that's missing from those plays, then it's just impotent.
But good put 3 points for Darryl Clark to get it on the board this early. New manager, first away game, 3 points.
Yeah,
good start. I'd be happy.
So Wigan have got Crawley on Saturday. They travelled to Reading on Saturday just gone with a 2-0 loss. Charlie Savage is another one that's been smashing the goals in, along with Calvin Atiaman.
I'm not doing it. I'll just say Calvin and Charlie. Great goals. I watched them goals and I'm quite impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, I love as well for this that, obviously they've got the acquisition going through hopefully this week. And one of the things that Sellers said was that it feels like a new chapter and a moving on, and they can put all of the shit that's been going on since Dai Yong's been in charge behind them. And that must be incredible as a fan, but as, you know, the players have had to worry about whether they get paid or, like, there's just been so much uncertainty. Yeah, Rob Kuig is the potential new owner. So he's an American financier. Wickham, yeah, he was. And they're looking to complete that the beginning of next week, and it's an £11 million sale.
Well, anything to get that twat out of English football. He is a prick.
Yeah, yes.
Dai Young, just never come back to English football, whatever you do. But 4 points for Reading after making no signing, being under an embargo, tight squad, very thin, you know, very, very good start. And, you know, I was impressed by him when I watched him against Birmingham. And 3 points this week.
Yeah.
Great start. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed, because that's why I put Ruben Sayers up there for pound for pound.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And, you know, it's great. But for Wigan, it's a poor start.
They've lost Charlie Hughes to Hull as well, haven't they? So
they've lost big players, and their keeper's being tarted by league championship clubs.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Reading also, Harvey Nibbs is out for 3 to 4 weeks. He scored 16 goals last season, so not indispensable but important. But regardless, Reading, you know, in a lot of these games, like, it was fairly evenly balanced, and then maybe a late goal, but Reading dominated throughout. So Kelvin, 3 goals, or involved in 3 goals, which is as many as his last 36 appearances. But hopefully everything will go through with the sale, and it'll put them on a decent trajectory.
Yeah, I'm really rooting for Reading.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm really rooting for Calvin. He's great.
Kelvin,
good player. I'm really interested, because I really was impressed by him at Birmingham when he played against them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Blackpool Stockport was also, that was 4 stars. I have to come back to that. Shrewsbury Posh, also 4 stars. 4 stars.
One more.
Have we done? We've not done Northampton Exeter.
1-0, 2-1,
2-1. 2-1 to Northampton. So Northampton is an interesting one. So they've got Sammy Shoeshane from Brighton. I'm not sure whether, I think he might have signed after. I don't know whether he played on Saturday. But they've got Callum Morton from Salford. So he was on loan there a couple of seasons ago. He's gone back.
COVID year with 0 fans in stadiums.
Yeah.
He's like a streets won't forget player in League 2 for that.
Yeah. So he's gone back and is making a difference. Exeter took the lead early, but then managed to carry that on until the into the second half. And then McGeehan got the first goal for Northampton, I think, pretty soon after the break.
2 players that came from League 2, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive, that 2 players making step up like that.
Yeah. Other than that, I have nothing more to add. Referee was Carl Brook.
Just really good from Northampton to get a win on the board as well. You know, I tipped them for relegation. Still think they might go down, but you know, they narrowly lost in last minute. They could have easily been sat here right now to an unbeaten start of the season, but they lost in last minute to Bristol Rovers. Yeah.
Well, Gary Colwell said that it was their own fault because they didn't kill the game when they had the opportunity to.
But you take the 3 points and go from that.
Yeah, and I was wrong. It wasn't just after half time. It was 65 and 77, the 2 goals. So Exeter held on to that lead for nearly an hour. Yeah.
And then 4 stars. Is it
4 stars? 4 stars. We'll start here where we are in the paper. Right, so Birmingham Wickham. Own goal, Alfie May equaliser. Wickham, and this is the thing, like Birmingham, they might have won, but they're not smashing them out. They're not, like, it's a 3-2. Like,
I don't expect them to at this stage with all
no, but the fans did.
Yeah. I don't think of this, right? They're still signing players and they've still got players integrating into the team. It's a massive change. I think what has been impressive is what's been impressive with Birmingham is the way Chris Davies is managing and is passionate on sidelines. I mean, the amount of times that camera zoomed around to him against Reading and he was screaming and ranting, it was like he's been in manager's job for years. But it's a good result, and to be honest, I'm impressed with Wickham. I'm so impressed with Wickham, but yet they've got 0 points to show for it. And again, never say die attitude that they have. Like, they were 3-1 down, they were losing to Birmingham, yet they're still not saying die, and they're going for results against Wrexham and Birmingham.
It was admittedly, again, another really late goal. So their goal that they scored themselves as opposed to the own goal was the 90th minute. So it was nearly 3-1, but it was 1-1 at half time. And, at that point, they had everything to play for. I mean, by contrast, so their opener was against Wrexham, wasn't it? So Vokes scored in that as well. So that's another one that's scored in both games, both league games so far anyway. Alfie May is obviously another early contender for Golden Boot, but there's so many in the league that have scored in both games so far. He's now 8 goals from 10 games.
Yeah, Sam Vokes though.
Yeah. And obviously Alfie May won. The PFA announced their player voted.
It weren't going to be anyone else, let's be honest.
Team of the season. He's very little, isn't he? Have you seen that picture of him between Rodri and Haaland? Yeah. And it's like that.
It's like monobrow. Goes down.
But if you don't people listening, if you don't follow Alfie May on Twitter, he's quite a big personality in terms of, going back to people, calling him out on things. It's quite unusual.
The League One Neil Maupay, but he actually scores goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. He backs it up in performances, unlike Neil Maupay, so.
So who's got who this weekend? So Birmingham they've got Orient, and Wickham are at home to Rotherham.
It should
be might be their turn to get some points. Right, next 4-star, going backwards. Shrewsbury Peterborough.
Oh, I watched this in pub. Wow.
Those goals from Randall at the end.
Wow. Just wow. Peterborough, you amazed me with your attacking ability. Just wow. I know you expect it.
Yeah, and interestingly,
Chris Clark to throw in there. Well, not still throw in there, but get his goal involvements thrown in there. But wow.
Yeah. Paul Hurst said that their issue was that they played too many attacking players, which, when you're going up against, I don't know, like 2 goals from Poku, 2 goals from Randall.
They played too many attacking players.
Yeah.
They've got Marquis, Tommy O'Reilly and Tom Bloxham that had class as really attacking players. What's he on about?
I don't know. But Randall scored 12 goals last season and has just signed a 3-year contract.
He's incredible. I mean, the worst goal I think I've ever seen is that pass back from Shrewsbury defender, and you don't score from it straight from kickoff. You never concede straight from kick. I don't care if you're 3-1 down in 87th minute. You do a Wickham and you get a last minute goal to make it 3-2.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Darren Ferguson said it could have been more.
Yeah, it could have. I was in pub watching it, and honestly, I don't know how they didn't take the lead early on. I can't remember who missed a chance, but I'm not. I think it were in first 20 minutes. Can't remember, but it could have been easy.
And then they've signed an Arsenal winger, Sago, on loan, who was at Swansea last season, but only made 2 substitute performances.
It's just an unknown, isn't it? It's just an unknown identity with that.
Unknown.
Great. It's a great start for Posh after last week's result. Sorry, to come back after a 2-0 loss. I don't care. I know we're against Huddersfield, but apparently it weren't the best performances in the world.
No.
To come back and just go, you know what? And people slating their attack. Oh yeah, but they're not scoring goals. They've lost Clark Harris, and then just go show up and go. You know what? We'll score 4 from away at home and put all of them to bed.
Yeah,
it's great, and I can see. I think I'm already regretting my Wigan prediction, and I think I'm regretting my Posh prediction. But that's what it's all about. Regrets already.
Regrets. 2 games in.
Yeah, Peterborough do look good. In that well, they did in that game. So just fingers crossed to keep it up.
So 2 games left. We'll also cover the first sack race winner. So Blackpool lost 3-0 to Stockport County on Saturday. The Blackpool away day lived up to all expectations.
Did you have fish and chips?
I did have fish and chips. Well, I didn't know chips. There were fish and chips involved. The gravy was really good.
That as Northerners, that's all I class myself as Northerner, even if I'm in the Midlands.
Well, honestly, that's where I went wrong, because I did not get gravy and Charlotte did. So I spent my time.
Well, that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening.
No. But I spent the whole time like nicking her gravy. Whilst what felt like the population of Stockport trickled past, because we had 3,911 away fans. And I'm sure that it's the same for many fan bases when they go to Blackpool, especially in August. It was like someone said, right, here's your match ticket. The law is that you need to go and buy hats with incredibly offensive words on them. You need to to buy a Kiss Me Quick cowboy hat. You need to have far exceeded the blood alcohol limit for anything sensible behavior before going into the ground. You absolutely must bring beach balls and inflatables, and probably some flares as well.
I'm not pleased with that at all, because when I go Blackpool, I'm thinking, well, I've never been, but if I'm going to the seaside, I'm buying a stick of rock.
Oh my god! Right, so I had to rate Blackpool away day for one of the county blogs, and I gave it 9 out of 10 because one of my objectives for the day was to get rock, and I didn't get rock. So that's why it was a 9 out of 10.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, I feel like I've let myself down, let the podcast down. Really weird policing as well, in that we had to walk around the perimeter of Bloomfield Park to get in, to almost get back to where we started, which was annoying. But it was.
I think you should just agree with the policing before you end up in prison.
Yes, I mean, it's obviously a risk. Both teams in the first half had chances, but it was almost like they were missing a final forward path. And like Charlie said, that in the first half he thought we played well but too direct, and then second half he was absolutely delighted by. What happened was Louis Barry scored, And there's been a lot of discussion within the Stockport County fan base as to whether it was a brilliant goal or whether Blackpool were just embarrassingly bad defensively. And I think it was a bit of both.
I'm going to give a neutral opinion. It was a good goal, great finish. But what the fuck? I've never seen it in League One where defenders fall over each other. What the fuck are you doing?
It was like a carry-on film when the Louis ran through them and they like banged into each other behind him.
It felt like I was watching You've Been Framed before.
Yes.
Honestly, what were they doing? And I've never seen a more lackluster challenge in my life. Do you know I was saying it about Burton's first goal, right? Do you know if a player is running at you and you think there's a prospect of goal and you're outside the box and you know it's going to be a yellow card, just take the yellow and hit him. And I don't promote violence, but just smash him. Just let him know you're there.
Yeah.
I've sounded like Roy Keane now.
But after they conceded that goal, they just fell apart. Like, just collapsed.
So did their fan base. They fell apart.
Yes, that's true. And I think County played well. The two goals, the third goal. So Jayden Fevrier, who was obviously a new signing from Colchester in the summer, he scored his first for the club. And then Tanto, who was back from injury, it's the first game, but he came on off the bench. He scored, and his goal for me was my favourite because it was just the control, like from the first touch to him like turning with it and placing it. It was just a lovely goal. And what was nicer than that was his genuinely incredibly joyful reaction. Like, you could see what it meant to him. And then his teammates, like how happy they were for him as well. Like, he is the loveliest lad. And to start a season in the way that he has, he's not really had a pre-season. He got injured doing like self-directed training in the off season. So really, really happy for him. But yes, the Blackpool like kind of cop end was deserted. They left the drum, just went home, and all the calls for Sadler to sack Critchley, and then that came on Monday.
No, later
Tuesday.
in week.
Was it?
And guess who predicted the first sacking of the League One?
Harry did.
Wait. Marcus Rashford. Like, I'm not being funny. I said it, and I knew it would come in. And when the fans turn against you, a fan base like Blackpool, you're going soon. And it did. And I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised that, like with Preston, that they gave him the time of the day to start the season. Because if there are already concerns before, I'd rather go into a season with no concerns, a fresh chapter, than go into it where you're in a bit of doubt.
And I think the fans were actually a little bit surprised that it did happen so quickly. I think they kind of half expected that there would just be no response from Sadler, that it would just kind of carry on.
I think it were expected. But one thing about Stockport, just to kind of give Stockport a bit of a praise as well, is that all three goals were well worked. Goals. They weren't lucky flukes.
No.
They were good goals. So, good for Stockport. Very
Yay for Stockport.
On GCSE results day, A star for Stockport.
Is that like a 9?
Yeah. Oh, no, that is a 9. Yeah, it's new grades, and I even got new grades, so why am I saying A star?
It's all right. I appreciate you talking to my level.
Yes. No, to be fair, people always say I act older than my age, so yeah, there we go.
Right, go on. Tell us why this was a 5-star game then.
End to end, 6 goals, penalty.
Does that just mean that no one could defend?
One in particular defender couldn't defend, which was very shocking. Own goal. So what we have is a defensive disaster classed by one team's captain. We have an own goal, a last-minute penalty old manager comes against his team that he had 15 years of service with. 6 goals again. We'll mention that. Lee Gregory being the dog's bollocks. Keanu Bacchus looking like he's an absolute machine. And Billy Bowden, as Burton fans were chanting, I don't like how they brought the national team chanting, but it does have a rhythm to it. So Bowden is literally on fire. What the fuck is he? Why turn up like that to my town and score 2 goals?
How dare he?
How dare he? And but Flint had a bad game, but I'm not going to touch on it. He's never had a bad game for Mansfield before that, so it's one of them. But Burton played really well. Mansfield played well, and I think I was a bit heated after the Saturday game, thinking, the fuck have we not came away with 3 points after the chances we missed? Yes, I think if there were one team who deserved to win, I think it was Mansfield. And they can say, yeah, but it took you a 97th minute penalty to get the equaliser. Right. We missed 2 1-on-1s. We missed sitters galore. I don't know, really, how we didn't go into half-time 4-2 up. They should have scored an extra one. They had a header unmarked in post, and they should have just put it on target, and it'd been a goal. It should have been 4-2 going into half-time.
So, going back to Billy Bowden, so he's now scored 3 goals in 2 games. It's the first time he scored in 2 consecutive games since May 2023 for Oxford United. I'm really enjoying my random stats. And this is going to be my thing for the season. But like his colleagues elsewhere in the league, has only scored 2 goals in 21 previous appearances.
Yeah, but Billy Bowden is on fire, and he's playing Aidan Flint off the park. Like, genuinely do.
He was in the league papers write-up. He was their star man.
Yeah, he deserved that. I thought DKD had a good game, and I think he's going to stay.
Yeah, I saw actually that Clough was interviewed, and he said, obviously there is still time, but we're hopeful, and it sounds like the Barnsley stuff has gone.
Yeah, gone.
They didn't meet your valuation. So.
Will Evans looked good. But yeah, good performance. I think on another day, Mansfield don't concede 3 goals. It's just made a Flint day where he had a poor game. I think we had 2 strikers at fullback, which I don't know why we've not addressed the fullback area, but Mansfield. But yeah.
And you've got Lincoln on Saturday. Who have Burton got? Oh, Stevenage. Oh, yeah, this is the fictional away situation. Yeah.
But yeah, good game. Deserved to be match of the day. Yeah, great. Very good.
Good. And your first home game of the season?
Back to reality, just drinking me organs out.
Are you going to Lincoln?
Of course I am.
Yeah. It's and then the next one is Stockport County.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
A week on Saturday. So I think that we've got all the way through our League One adventures for the week. Is there anything else? I mean, we talked earlier about the PFA awards, but honestly, most of the PFA League One players in the Team of the Year have been promoted.
Yeah, so long, farewell.
What's that? So Stevenage have signed Eli King from Cardiff on a season-long loan. Wales under-21 international midfielder. So there's that. What else? And Wrexham to wait and see on potential additions. Parkinson. Phil Parkinson says he will wait and see whether he will be able to add to Wrexham's squad with the possibility of players leaving on loan, because they've still got people like Billy Waters, who was out at Donny last season on loan but has come back. But Paul Mullin will be assessed ahead of Saturday's home game against Reading. Which, I don't know. I mean,
great start.
Yeah, we saw this though last season with Mullin. It felt like he was rushed back a little bit prematurely. So hopefully they'll be sensible in terms of when they bring him back. But they know what they're doing, don't they? So
yeah.
It's all fine. Right, then. Yeah, I guess we'll catch up on Sunday for a 606 potential shenanigans. And yeah. It feels like a whistle-stop tour, but it wasn't. It was an hour. We've covered every game with a peppering of statistics.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, and what was the thing about the food? We're going to get people to send in their food. Yeah, we'll sort that on Twitter.
We've done the podcast.
I keep calling it Twitter.
Yeah, it is Twitter. Yeah.
X. People know what we mean. Speaking of, you can follow us on @League1Look on the Twitter X and on YouTube at Lower League Look. Yes. And everything is there. And we shall see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.